हेलो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, गुड मॉर्निंग। सुबह की शुरुआत एक अच्छे से स्माइल से हो जाए तो क्या बात है। द सेम थिंग हैपन विद मी टुडे। दिस GIF हैज मेड माय डे। देखिए क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे। ये भाई साहब जो है बक्सा खिसका रहे हैं। अरे भाई साहब, अगर इसको खिसकाना है तो थोड़ा प्यार से खिसकाइए, थोड़ा तबीयत से खिसकाइए। देखिए, जैसे एक्शन वैसे रिएक्शन। तो आ गया ना बक्सा भी जोश में। इसे कहते हैं बूमरैंग। जोक्स अपार्ट, यहाँ पे मुझे क्या कहना है आपसे कि जब ये भाई साहब इस बक्से को मूव करना चाह रहे हैं तो द पर्सन इज अप्लाइंग द फोर्स ऑन द बॉक्स बाय टचिंग द बॉक्स। तो यहाँ पर जो इंटरक्शन हो रही है किसके बीच में हो रही है? द पर्सन एंड द बॉक्स। तो इंटरऑब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट जो है वो दे आर इन टच विद ईच अदर। जब बॉक्स को मूव करना है उसकी जगह से, द पर्सन हैज टू ओवरकम द फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स। द फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स ऑलवेज acts along the line of contact between the two surface। अभी कौन से दो surfaces है? ये बॉक्स जिस surface पे रखा है उस वो surface और ये बॉक्स, उसमें क्या होगा? frictional force होगा। तो again the two surfaces are in touch with each other। So frictional force is a electromagnetic force। Now here is also the example of electromagnetic force। Here we are having the opposite poles of magnet attracting each other and the like poles are repelling each other. But the force of attraction and the force of repulsion is taking place without any contact between the two bar magnets. You see here, the two bar magnets have their like poles facing towards each other. So they attract each other, but there is no contact between the two bar magnets. And still the attraction is there between the two unlike poles. Similarly here, the two bar magnets are with their like poles facing each other. So there is a repulsion and the repulsion takes place even though there is no contact between the two bar magnets. So this is the example of electromagnetic force. Frictional force is also electromagnetic nature, and this force of attraction and repulsion between this unlike poles and like poles is also electromagnetic in nature। अब दोनों में फर्क क्या है? यहाँ पर दोनों इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक है, फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स और ये जो फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन एंड रिपल्शन। लेकिन ये जो फोर्स है दैट is between the two interacting objects when they are in contact with each other, and here the force is there even if there is no contact between the two interacting objects। So the fundamental forces in nature, कौन से फंडामेंटल फोर्सेस हमने स्टडी किए अभी पिछले लेक्चर में? ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force and weak nuclear force। So all these forces can be classified into different types। अभी एक तो यहाँ पर ही किया कि कांटेक्ट में है इंटरैक्टिंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स या नहीं है, मतलब कांटेक्ट फोर्स है या नॉन कांटेक्ट फोर्स है। So let us study today how the fundamental forces are classified into different types of forces। Today, in this lesson number 4, Laws of Motion, we are going to discuss the classification of fundamental forces into contact and non-contact forces, real and pseudo forces, and conservative and non-conservative forces। So actually again this contact and non-contact forces are deleted for this year as a special case, but still it is necessary to study about the contact and non-contact forces। So we are going to discuss about these forces। So let us classify the forces। The first type of classification is into contact forces and non-contact forces। So what are contact forces? The interactions between objects that touch। So when the objects are in contact with each other, the interaction between the objects is called as contact forces। What are non-contact forces? The interactions between the objects even from a distance. That means when they are not touching each other, they attract or repel even from a distance। So let us see what are the examples of contact forces. Here the batsman is applying the force on the ball with the help of the bat. So bat and ball are in touch with each other. So this is the applied force, and which is the example of contact force। Spring force is also an example of contact force। In order to compress the spring, we have to hold it in your hand and apply force on it by touching it। So this is an example of a contact force। अभी जो पैराशूट है, पर्सन जो ये जो पर्सन है पैराशूट के हेल्प से हवा में उड़ रहा है, तो ये जो फोर्स फील कर रहा है वो दैट इज एयर ड्रैग. ओके, तो ये हवा के साथ कांटेक्ट में है और हवा इस पे जो फोर्स एक्सर्ट कर रही है, सो व्हिच इज अ कांटेक्ट फोर्स. Frictional force, as we have discussed earlier, is a contact force. Normal reaction is also a contact force. So these are the examples of contact forces. These are the examples of non-contact forces. The force of attraction or repulsion between the unlike or like poles of magnet, or the electric force, the force of attraction or repulsion between the unlike and like charges. The gravitational force is an example of non-contact force. Here the apple is falling on the ground. The apple is not in contact with the ground, but still the gravitational force acts on it, and as a result of which the apple will fall down on the earth. Obviously, when it will fall on the ground, it will be in touch with the ground, but before falling, it is not in contact with the earth, and still the gravitational force acts between the apple and the ground. So these are the examples. Let us discuss the contact forces and non-contact forces in details. So the force experienced by a body due to physical contact is called contact force. That means the interacting objects are in contact or they are touching each other. The examples we have already discussed: frictional force, normal reaction, viscous drag, applied force, spring force. What is non-contact force? The force experienced by a body without any physical contact is called non-contact force. That means the interaction is there between the bodies even if they are at distance. They are separated by a distance, or even if they are not touching each other. The examples we have already discussed: gravitational force, electromagnetic force. Okay. So here we can see the planetary motion. It is an example of a non-contact force. The gravitational force is a non-contact force. What we can see here is two blocks which are in contact with each other. Now the first block will exert a force on the second block. Its weight will act in downward direction. This is action. As a reaction, the second block will exert an equal and opposite force on the first block, which is called as the normal reaction. So the normal reaction always acts perpendicular to surface of contact. So this is the surface of contact between these two blocks, and the normal reaction will always act perpendicular to the surface of contact. The friction always acts along the surface of contact. So this is the surface of contact between the two blocks. So whenever this block will tend to move, or it is actual in motion over the first or over the second block, the frictional force comes into existence, and it always acts along the surface of contact and will try to oppose the relative motion between the two blocks. The tension along the string is also an example of a contact force. So it always acts. If this is a string which is tied between two supports, so the tension in the string always acts along the string. Okay. Now we'll come to the non-contact forces. So here, as we have already discussed, the planetary motion is a example of non-contact force. So even if the planets are not in contact with each other, they are revolving around the sun due to the gravitational force. So without any contact, these forces form an action-reaction pair. Similarly, the force of attraction between two unlike charges or unlike poles is an example of non-contact force. So they form an action-reaction pair without any contact. Or the force of repulsion between two like charges or two like poles is also an example of action-reaction pair which is formed without any contact. So I hope your ideas about contact force and non-contact force are clear. Let us come to the next set of classification of forces, and that is real force and pseudo force. I think it will be better if you call it as a non-real force than the pseudo force. What is a real force? A force which is produced due to interaction between the objects is called real force. So there is actual interaction between the objects, and hence it obeys Newton's laws of motion. Real forces are one of the four fundamental forces, or we can say that the four fundamental forces are real forces. For example, Earth revolves around the sun in circular path due to gravitational force between the sun and the earth. So the interacting objects here are sun and the earth. And what is the result of interaction? The earth revolves around the sun in circular path, and the force which is responsible for it is a gravitational force. So gravitational force which is acting between the sun and the earth is an example of a real force. Pseudo force. Pseudo is a Greek word, and the literal meaning of pseudo is lying or false. But here we are going to consider it as a non-real force instead of a false force. Okay, a force which arises due to acceleration of the observer's frame of reference. See, when we were discussing the non-inertial frame of reference, do you remember? I have taken the example of a bus moving with constant velocity and a ball is kept in a bus. So according to the person sitting in the bus, the ball is at rest, as in that case the bus is a inertial frame of reference. But when the brakes are applied on the bus slows down, that is retardation is produced. So the force is applied on the bus and not on the ball, but the ball accelerates. So the person sitting in the bus says that the ball is in accelerated motion. But how it is possible when the force is not acting on the ball? So force is zero, but the acceleration is produced. Okay, so the pseudo force comes into picture when we are in a non-inertial frame of reference or in accelerated frame of reference. So it does not obey Newton's laws of motion. Now we have already discussed force is zero, but the acceleration is produced, which is not in accordance with the Newton's laws of motion. So pseudo force does not obey Newton's laws of motion. Pseudo forces are not among the four fundamental forces. Because we have already seen that the fundamental forces, all the fundamental forces are real forces, and pseudo force is a non-real force. If a person is traveling in a bus which is initially moving with a constant velocity, suddenly if the bus accelerates, the person feels or experiences a backward push. When the bus accelerates, the force is applied on the bus and not on the person, but still the person is experiencing some force. He is experiencing a backward push, which is nothing but a pseudo force. So in a bus moving with an acceleration on a straight road in forward direction, a person of mass m experiences a backward pseudo force of magnitude m into a. देखिए यहाँ पर सूडो फोर्स का मैग्नीट्यूड लिखा है m इंटू ए, मतलब हम उसको मेजर कर सकते हैं. तो अगर सूडो फोर्स हम मेजर कर सकते हैं, इसका मतलब वो इमेजिनरी नहीं है. वो हम उसे क्या कंसिडर करेंगे? इट्स अ नॉन रियल फोर्स, नॉट एन इमेजिनरी वन. इज इट क्लियर? तो सूडो फोर्स जो है उसका मैग्नीट्यूड जो एम है, तो पर्सन जो है, एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट इन एन accelerated frame of reference will experience a pseudo force which is equal to minus m into a. तो ये निगेटिव साइन क्या इंडिकेट करती है कि pseudo force हमेशा किस डायरेक्शन में होगा? जिस फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस में वो ऑब्जेक्ट है जो सूडो फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा है, तो उस फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस का एक्सेलरेशन जिस डायरेक्शन में होगा उसके अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में वो ऑब्जेक्ट जो है वो सूडो फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस करेगा और उसका मैग्नीट्यूड होगा m into a. So pseudo force is a non-real force. It acts on a body present in the accelerated frame of reference in a direction opposite to that of acceleration of the frame of reference. And its magnitude is equal to m into a. See, in maths, we come across real numbers. Now, what are real numbers? The numbers whose square is either 0 or positive. But we also come across some complex numbers such as I. What is I? It is square root of -1. We know that the square of each and every number, even if it is negative or positive, is always positive. But here we have a complex number which is denoted by I, and it is equal to square root of -1, and it comes with some real part in it. It means that every non-real number may not be imaginary. So same is the case with the pseudo force. Even though it is a non-real force, it is not imaginary. It is measurable. Is it clear? So let us discuss some examples of pseudo forces. So in an elevator accelerating upwards, what do you feel? You feel that your weight has increased. You feel heavier, like you have more mass. At the same time, if the elevator is accelerating in downward direction, you feel lighter, like you have less mass. At the worlds of fun, have you ever gone to the worlds of fun? You might have experienced it that on the Finnish fling, the spinning barrel ride, the gravity appears to go sideways. Okay. So that is because of pseudo force. If you slam on the brakes, that is, you suddenly apply brakes, loose objects in your car will seem to accelerate forwards. You will feel that the loose objects are moving in forward direction, and that is because of pseudo force. सूडो फोर्स को अच्छी तरह से समझने के लिए हम ये एग्जांपल कंसीडर करें. इसमें 3 केसेस कंसीडर किए हुए हैं. इन द फर्स्ट केस, a person is standing on a weighing machine in a lift. So when a body of mass m is placed on a weighing machine placed in a lift, the actual weight of the body is mg, which acts on the weighing machine in downward direction. So this is action. As a result, the weighing machine will offer a reaction given by the reading of the weighing machine, and this reaction exerted by the surface of contact on the body is the apparent weight of the body. Okay? So here the normal reaction we can consider it as a weight of the body, क्योंकि ये normal reaction की वजह से हम अपना क्या महसूस करते हैं, वजन महसूस करते हैं. ठीक है. अभी in this first case, a person is standing on the ground and he is observing the person standing in the lift in all the 3 cases. अभी first case में जो person है, according to this person, the net upward force acting on the object is equal to mg, क्योंकि अभी acceleration produce नहीं हो रहा है, तो दूसरा कोई force act नहीं हो रहा है. देखो, we have fa is equal to ma. So this f is the force producing an acceleration of a in mass m, लेकिन यहाँ पर acceleration है ही नहीं. ठीक है. So net upward force experienced by the person will be equal to the normal reaction exerted by the weighing machine on him. And in this case, this n, that is normal reaction, is equal to the actual weight of the object. So apparent weight is equal to the real weight, as acceleration is 0. In second case, when the lift is accelerating in upward direction, so the observer who is in inertial frame of reference, क्योंकि जो ग्राउंड पे खड़ा है तो उसका फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस इज इनर्शियल फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस, जहां पर न्यूटन्स लॉ ऑफ मोशन जो है ओबे होते हैं. इनर्शियल फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस में न्यूटन्स लॉ ऑफ मोशन आर ओबे. So according to this person standing on the ground, this person, अभी इसको हम person है, ये जो object है उसका जिसको हम observe कर रहे हैं. So this person is accelerating in upward direction. Now consider that the lift is accelerating in upward direction with the acceleration is equal to a. So same is the acceleration produced in the person A. So according to this person standing on ground, the net upward force acting on the object will be equal to the normal reaction, which is equal to mg. Magnitude is equal to mg plus the force ma, which is producing the acceleration a in the mass m. So w, which is equal to mg plus ma. What does it say? The apparent weight in this case is equal to, is greater than the real weight of the person. So here the person feels heaviness. Now if the lift is accelerating in upward direction, the acceleration is equal to g. We can replace this a by g. So we'll get w is equal to mg plus mg, that is equal to twice mg. So apparent weight is greater than the double the real weight. अभी जो पर्सन है जो ऑब्जर्व कर रहा है वेइंग मशीन का रीडिंग देख सक रहा है, तो यहाँ पर देख रहा है वो कि वेइंग मशीन इज रीडिंग mg, यहाँ पर देख रहा है वेइंग मशीन इज रीडिंग ट्वाइस mg, और तीसरी केस में वो देख रहा है वेइंग मशीन इज रीडिंग w इज इक्वल टू 0 व्हेन द लिफ्ट इज एक्सेलरेटिंग इन डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन। पहले हम कंसीडर कर सकते हैं कि लिफ्ट इज एक्सेलरेटिंग विथ एन एक्सेलरेशन इक्वल टू a in downward direction. Now here the normal reaction is acting on the person in upward direction whose magnitude is equal to mg. और जब वो एक्सेलरेट हो रही है नीचे की तरफ से, तो फोर्स ऑल्सो एक्ट हो रहा है नीचे की तरफ से, दैट इज इक्वल टू m into a in downward direction. So the net upward force experienced by the person is equal to mg, which is in upward direction normal reaction, minus ma, that is the force producing the acceleration in downward direction. So the person will also experience a force in downward direction which is equal to ma. So the net upward force is W is equal to mg minus ma. तो यहाँ पर हम क्या देख रहे हैं कि apparent weight जो है this W is less than the real weight of the person. अगर लिफ्ट एक्सेलरेट हो रही है नीचे की तरफ से with acceleration is equal to g, will replace a by g and we get mg minus mg. So w is equal to 0 in this case. So यहाँ पे वो बिल्कुल क्या फील करेगा, weightlessness फील करेगा. So in all the three cases where the weighing machine is reading w is equal to mg, w is equal to twice mg and w is equal to 0, these are the observations by the person who is standing on the ground, that is the person in an inertial frame of reference. But if this same person is standing in the same lift and observing the observer, इसको हम ऑब्जेक्ट कहेंगे, इसके लिए ये ऑब्जेक्ट है जिसको वो ऑब्जर्व कर रहा है, तो यहाँ पर ये खड़ा है, ये लिफ्ट में खड़ा है, लिफ्ट के सरफेस पे, नॉट ऑन द वेइंग मशीन. तो पहले केस में ये अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस पर्सन द ऑब्जेक्ट इज एट रेस्ट and the only force acting on the object in upward direction is the normal reaction. So according to this observer, the normal reaction is equal to mg. So the apparent weight is equal to the real weight of the person. अब ये दूसरी केस जो है, यहाँ पे ये लिफ्ट एक्सेलरेट हो रही है. अब ये ऑब्जर्वर जो है ये जो है नॉन इनर्शियल फ्रेम में खड़ा है या तो एक्सेलरेटेड फ्रेम में खड़ा है. And we know that Newton's laws of motion are not obeyed in non-inertial frame of reference. So according to this observer, this object is at rest. मतलब acceleration तो zero है. Though the lift is accelerating, the frame of reference is accelerating, but according to the observer who is standing in the same lift, that is who is in the non-inertial frame of reference, the object is always at rest. So acceleration is zero. इसके हिसाब से इसका acceleration zero ही है. लेकिन वो जब वेइंग मशीन को देख रहा है तो देख रहा है अरे ये डबल कैसे हो गया इसका रीडिंग. तो अब फोर्स तो एक्ट नहीं हो रहा, एक्सेलरेशन जीरो, इसका मतलब फोर्स तो एक्ट नहीं हो रहा है और वेट कैसे बढ़ रहा है. तो यहाँ पर जो है ये न्यूटन्स लॉ यहाँ पे एप्लीकेबल नहीं हो रहा है. सो टू मेक द न्यूटन्स लॉ एप्लीकेबल इन द नॉन इनर्शियल फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस, the observer will consider that a pseudo force is acting on the object in the direction opposite to the acceleration produced. तो pseudo force जो act होता है वो object पे act होता है, उसका magnitude होता है m into, यहाँ पर दिखा है fp bar is equal to minus ma bar. तो negative direction क्या denote करती है कि pseudo force always acts in opposite direction to the acceleration produced. acceleration किस में produce हो रहा है, inertial frame में produce हो रहा है. ठीक है, और फोर्स किस पे एक्ट हो रहा है, ऑब्जेक्ट पे एक्ट हो रहा है. तो दिस ऑब्जर्वर विल से दैट a pseudo force is acting on the person in downward direction with magnitude m into a. तो एक्सेलरेशन तो जीरो, इसका मतलब टोटल डाउनवर्ड फोर्स जो है दैट इज इक्वल टू द टोटल अपवर्ड फोर्स, और टोटल अपवर्ड फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस बाय द पर्सन इज नथिंग बट द अपरेंट वेट. तो यहाँ पे टोटल डाउनवर्ड फोर्स कितना हो गया, mg प्लस ma, और upward force कितना आएगा, mg plus ma. So according to this person, that is the observer, the apparent weight of the person will be mg plus ma. मतलब उसके हिसाब से भी apparent weight is greater than real weight. लिफ्ट अगर एक्सेलरेट होती है g जितने एक्सेलरेशन से, फिर से अगर a को हम रिप्लेस करेंगे g से तो w आता है ट्वाइस mg. तो यहाँ पर जो ऑब्जर्वर जो हेवीनेस फील कर रहा है दैट इज ड्यू टू द सूडो फोर्स. In this third example, when the lift is accelerating in downward direction, अब ये ऑब्जर्वर है, फिर से देख रहा है इसको, अरे ये तो एट रेस्ट है, मतलब एक्सेलरेशन 0 है, फिर भी वेइंग मशीन दिखा रहा है चेंज। तो ये चेंज जो हो रहा है, एक्सेलरेशन 0 है मतलब फोर्स एक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, तो चेंज कैसे हो रहा है? तो फिर से यहाँ पर जो है न्यूटन्स लॉ एप्लीकेबल नहीं हो रहा है। तो to make it applicable, again this observer will consider a pseudo force acting on this object of mass m, which is in opposite direction to the acceleration. अब acceleration ये नीचे की तरफ है और pseudo force act होगा ऊपर की तरफ से, that is equal to m into a. लेकिन अब यहाँ पर जो है एक्सेलरेशन 0 है, इसका मतलब टोटल डाउनवर्ड फोर्स जो है दैट इज इक्वल टू द टोटल अपवर्ड फोर्स। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे W जो होगा, अब अपवर्ड क्या लग रहा है हमारा, ma लग रहा है, ऑब्जेक्ट पे कौन सा लग रहा है, ma लग रहा है, और सॉरी mg लग रहा है, मतलब ये ऊपर की तरफ से लग रहा है। तो अब टोटल अपवर्ड फोर्स कितना होगा, W प्लस m इंटू a। ठीक है, और मतलब नॉर्मल रिएक्शन जो है दैट इज mg, तो mg डाउनवर्ड फोर्स है, W plus ma is equal to mg आ जाएगा, टोटल अपवर्ड फोर्स इज W plus ma, so W plus ma is equal to mg, so W will be equal to mg minus ma। तो यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है, apparent weight is less than the real weight of the person. Again, if the lift is accelerating in downward direction with g, then a is replaced by g and we get W is equal to mg minus mg, that is equal to 0। तो यहाँ पर द पर्सन विल फील अ वेटलेसनेस, यहाँ पे उसे लग रहा है कि उसको जोर से नीचे की तरफ कोई खींच रहा है, इसलिए उसको लग रहा है कि उसका वजन बढ़ गया, और यहाँ पे उसको लगेगा कि उस पे कोई फोर्स एक्ट नहीं, मतलब वेटलेस फील करेगा वो। और ये जो हो रहा है सारा, वो किसकी वजह से हो रहा है, सूडो फोर्स की वजह से। ठीक है, सो आई होप द कंसेप्ट ऑफ सूडो फोर्स इज क्लियर टू यू। Now, here we come to the last set of classification of fundamental forces into conservative force and non-conservative force. Now, देखते हैं conservative force क्या क्या conserve करता है. If the work done by or against a force is independent of the actual path, the force is said to be conservative force. And during the work done by the conservative force, mechanical energy is conserved. Mechanical energy is nothing but the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. And that's why this force is called as a conservative force. When the work done by or against conservative forces reflects an equal amount of change in potential energy. So to elaborate it, we are considering this example. Okay. Now here a box is kept on a ground. Now when any object is lifted from ground against gravity, क्योंकि हम जब इसको लिफ्ट करते हैं तो लिफ्ट करते हैं against gravity, so the work is done against the force. Okay, so when it is lifted from ground against gravity, there is increase in the gravitational potential energy, क्योंकि potential energy जो है that is the energy possessed on account of the position. ठीक है, and we calculate the potential energy as P is equal to m into g into h, where m is the mass of the object, g is the acceleration due to gravity, and h is the height of the object from the ground level. ठीक है, तो on account of its position, it will possess the potential energy which is equal to m into g into h. अब यहाँ से हम बॉक्स उठा रहे हैं अगेंस्ट ग्रेविटी थ्रू हाइट h। अब वो कैसे उठाते हैं, किस पाथ से उसको लेके जाते हैं, या तो सीधा उठा के यहाँ पे रख दो, या तो ऐसे कर्व पाथ से लेके जाओ। It will be lifted through an height is equal to h. So the change in potential energy, अभी ग्राउंड लेवल उसकी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी कितनी होगी, 0, क्योंकि हाइट इज इक्वल टू 0, और उठाते हैं हम उसको हाइट h तक, तो उसकी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी कितनी हो जाएगी, m into g into h. So the change in potential is energy is from 0 to mgh. So same amount of p is potential energy is decreased when the displacement is in the direction of the force, when the object is kept back. तो अभी फिर से उसको रखना है हमें, यहाँ से उठाया था, तो फिर से हम सीधे उठा के रखो, या ऐसे रखो, या ऐसे रखो, we are displacing it through the height of h. So the change in potential energy will be from mgh to 0. So this change is path independent. This change in potential energy is path independent. It depends only on the initial and final position. So initial position और final position में कितना displacement हो रहा है उसका h जितना. So it will depend only on this h. It is independent of the path. Okay. अब यहाँ पे जो हम lift कर रहे हैं तो जो एयर रेजिस्टेंस है वो हम निग्लेक्ट कर रहे हैं, मतलब फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स जो है एयर का वो हम यहाँ पर निग्लेक्ट कर रहे हैं. तो यहाँ पे जो है ये कंजर्व हो रही है, मैकेनिकल एनर्जी ये कंजर्व हो रही है. ठीक है. नाउ विल कंसीडर द नॉन कंजर्वेटिव फोर्स. If work done by or against a force depends on the actual path and non-recoverable, the force is said to be a non-conservative force. मतलब यहाँ पे कुछ ना कुछ तो है जो कंजर्व नहीं हो रहा है, इसका मतलब क्या हो रहा है, वो किसी दूसरे टाइप में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है. Work done against this force appears as heat, sound, light, etc. मतलब यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं हम, जो वर्क डन हो रहा है नॉन कंजर्वेटिव फोर्स जब हम लगा रहे हैं, तो additional work is done if there is frictional force and this work is path dependent and non-recoverable even if the same path is traced. अभी ये दूसरा एग्जांपल हम कंसीडर कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. A box is here kept on the ground. यहाँ पे भी ग्राउंड पे रखा था हमने, उसको लिफ्ट किया ऊपर की तरफ से अगेंस्ट ग्रेविटी. अब यहाँ पे हम क्या कर रहे हैं, उसको सीधे रास्ते में स्लाइड कर रहे हैं, मतलब इट इज स्लाइडेड ऑन द ग्राउंड. तो यहाँ पे हमको फोर्स अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा टू मूव द ब्लॉक. अब when this block will start moving, friction comes into existence. So additional work is to be done in order to overcome the frictional force. अब ये जो वर्क डन है, हम जब मूव करते हैं, स्लाइड करते हैं, तो आवाज आती है, हीट प्रोड्यूस होती है. तो मतलब जो वर्क डन अगेंस्ट दिस फोर्स appears as heat, sound, light, etc. अब मान लेते हैं हम ये बॉक्स यहाँ से हमने स्लाइड करके यहाँ तक लेके आए. अब हम उसको वापस रखें उसकी जगह पे सेम पाथ ट्रेस करके, लेकिन इवन इफ द सेम पाथ इज ट्रेस इट इज नॉट रिकवरेबल. अब ये बॉक्स जो है हम यहाँ से सीधा घुमा रहे हैं, अब यहाँ से उसको हम ऐसा पाथ ट्रेस करके लेके जा रहे हैं यहाँ तक. तो इन दैट केस अगेन इसका जो इफेक्ट होगा वो डिफरेंट होगा, क्योंकि ये जो है वो पाथ डिपेंडेंट है. ठीक है. सो आई होप द आइडियाज अबाउट कंजर्वेटिव फोर्स and non-conservative force are clear. Solve the assignment for lecture 1, 2 and 3. Here the questions are given to you. The weightage of the questions is given here. Now here in the questions like state the importance, and here the option is given, slash is given, Newton's first, second, third law. So here it is expected that you should state the importance of each law of motion. Here also it is expected that you should write the characteristic of each type of force, and here also it is expected that you should distinguish between all these pairs. If 2 marks are there, you should write at least 2 points. If 3 marks are there, you should write at least 3 points. Is it clear? Thank you and see you soon.